now, I believe we're going to go to item number, Senator Leno, we're going to go to your item? Yes. Item number 4, SB 140. Let me just make a couple comments before we please have everyone's attention. As I mentioned earlier on, for those of you who weren't here in the room, the rules normally for this committee are 3 and 3 individuals for proponents, 3 individuals for opponents, and a total of 9 minutes. So there's 3 minutes per individuals. After that, we're going to take only, name only, support and or oppose. I did make an exception for special order number 1, but we will be going with the 3 and 3. Senator Leno, please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members. I will be as respectful of your long day and agenda as I possibly can. First of all, I will accept the recommendation of the committee and the Attorney General to define the word smoking as an author's amendment and also including e-cigarettes within the Licensing Act. So this bill very simply will include electronic cigarettes within California's smoke-free laws and the Stop Tobacco Access to Kids Enforcement Act, otherwise known as STAKE. And just to get our definitions clear from the start, according to the FDA, e-cigarettes are battery-operated products designed to deliver nicotine, flavor, and other chemicals to the user. The nicotine contained in e-cigarettes is derived from tobacco and is highly addictive. So that's what we're talking about here. And this is a very fast-growing industry. It's now about $2.5 billion annually, nearly doubling every year. And amazingly, it is unregulated. And why we're here is that this is a really serious potential health crisis for California. The fastest growing segment of e-cigarette users is middle and high school students. Middle and high school students who have never smoked a traditional cigarette are now using e-cigarettes, despite the fact that our former colleague, Senator Ellen Corbett, was successful in putting into statute a ban on sales to minors. But the industry markets their products in flavors such as gummy bears, Mountain Dew, bubble gum. Is it any surprise this is in the hands of children? And these products deliver nicotine. We don't even know what's in the liquids that they are vaporizing because there's no requirement for any of us to know what's in them. But even in products that claim they are nicotine-free, they have been tested by some of the professionals you'll be hearing from, and they have found nicotine. We are at risk of losing 25 years' effort and a $2 billion investment in keeping a next generation from becoming addicted to the killing drug of nicotine. So, this is big business, and Wells Fargo has estimated that within 10 years, 75% of this market will be controlled and owned by the big 3 tobacco companies. So the Smoke-Free Act will prohibit the use, and it doesn't ban e-cigarettes, so anyone who suggests we're trying to ban them is just incorrect. It will just merely limit where they can be used. And as with traditional cigarettes, they would be banned from schools and restaurants and daycare centers, public transportation. And why are we doing that? Because the emissions from these e-cigarettes, though the common parlance is just vapor, and that's where the term vaporizing comes from, giving the indication that it's just water particles. In fact, it is aerosol. And aerosol, different from vapor, is made up of particles, and they are chemicals. The California Department of Public Health has identified minimally 10 carcinogenic elements in these particles in the aerosol that is emitted. So the secondhand emission is just as dangerous as traditional smoke. And the reason we want to include it in the STAKE Act, which again is the Stop Tobacco Access to Kids Enforcement Act, is that we know that this is in the hands of children, and we want to increase enforcement and oversight provisions of the act, which do not currently apply to e-cigarettes. So you're going to hear from different resources, including researchers from the University of California, San Francisco. We have information from not only the California Department of Public Health, which has declared these devices to be dangerous and unsafe, and they are currently in the midst of an educational campaign. You may have seen some of the television commercials that are out right now. The Federal Drug Administration already defines these products as tobacco products. The federal definition for tobacco products is the term tobacco product means any product made or derived from tobacco that is intended for human consumption, including any component, part, or accessory of a tobacco product. That which is vaporized is nicotine, which comes from tobacco. So it's already recognized as, under federal definition, a tobacco product. We want to put it into statute here. And in addition to the Department of Public Health, Federal Food and Drug Administration, also the World Health Organization, and then you're going to hear from all the health advocacy groups, the Lung Association, the Heart Association, the Cancer Society, all those who are in the business of protecting public health will be speaking in support. But you don't have to just take it from me and from all these health advocacy groups that what I'm saying is so. I'm going to use some of the information that the e-cigarette industry itself has put out, and you should have all of these four pieces distributed to you, and I just want to walk you through them one by one. So the first one I'm looking at is a warning label on Mark 10 e-vapor. Mark 10 e-vapor is one of the larger players in the market, and if you look at their advertisement, at the bottom they have this warning. This product is not intended for use by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, or persons with or at risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, or taking medicine for depression or asthma. Nicotine is addictive and habit-forming, and it is very toxic by inhalation. Nicotine can increase your heart rate, blood pressure, and causes dizziness, nausea, and stomach pain. Inhalation of this product may aggravate existing respiratory conditions. That's from the industry itself. Another piece we took right off their website, R.J. Reynolds Vapor. They say their product, their definition, is innovative digital tobacco product technology. Reading from their own information, they do not burn tobacco, but rather heat liquid containing nicotine derived from tobacco. Views, which is their product, is a tobacco product under federal law. This is from the industry itself. Going back to Mark 10, their own information, reading from it, ingredients, tobacco-derived nicotine, and then they have their own warning label. This product is not a smoking cessation product and has not been tested as such. California Proposition 65 warning. This product, Mark 10, an e-cigarette. This product contains nicotine, a chemical known to the state of California to cause birth defects or other reproductive harm. This is all coming from the industry. And I'll just close with what I think is a rather fascinating story, because when the opposition does come up, and of course they should be afforded their time, they're going to argue that they are not a tobacco product, that you should oppose this bill because it's not a tobacco product, their own industry's disclosures notwithstanding, that they are a cessation device, though they have never been tested or approved as a cessation device by the FDA or anybody else. It's just their opinion. But in 2009, Enjoy, which is again one of the larger players in the e-cigarette market, at a time when Congress had not authorized the FDA to regulate tobacco products, all the FDA could regulate was cessation devices. So Enjoy sued the Food and Drug Administration, claiming they were not a cessation device, they were a tobacco product. And they won. They won in court. And in fact, the judge agreed and said in his own comments that, in fact, yes, they are a tobacco product and they are not a cessation device. So now that it's more convenient for the industry to say they are a cessation device, they want to walk back from their own lawsuit, which they won, which determined that they were a tobacco product. But if they ever are, and it's their right to apply to the FDA to be tested and approved as a cessation device, if and when that should ever happen, this bill will not impact them because this bill does not regulate cessation devices. So with that, I'd like to introduce our sponsors and supporters. We have Dr. Philip Gardner, who is the program officer for the Tobacco-Related Disease Research Program at the University of California Office of the President, followed by Dr. Kathy McDonald with the California Society of Addiction Medicine, and Dr. Stanton Glantz, Director for the Center for Tobacco Control Research and Education at the University of California, San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please state your name. Proceed.
Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Phil Gardner. I'm with, as mentioned, the University of California Office of the President. I should say, also want to thank Senator Leno and the American Cancer Society for having me here today. As a UC employee, I'm not going to speak for or against the bill. What I'm going to try and do is actually bring some science to bear on the question. I oversee the e-cigarette portfolio for the Tobacco-Related Disease Research Program. We fund studies. Increasingly, our studies are looking at electronic cigarettes, so there is a growing amount of research. I also served on the committee that put together the UC's recent no smoking and no cigarette policy, and we did a background piece on electronic cigarettes. I'm going to read some of that to you. I think it'll be helpful in your determination. Essentially, electronic cigarettes and the aerosol that is emitted from them is a new source of pollution and toxins that is being emitted into the environment. E-cigarettes emit volatile organic compounds like benzene and toluene, heavy metals like nickel and arsenic, tobacco-specific carcinogens, and carbon compounds like formaldehyde and acrolein. While these concentrations of these chemicals are lower than in tobacco smoke and vary across brands, these vapors are a new source of ultrafine and fine particulate in the environment, and the public can be exposed to them. Research shows that secondhand exposure does occur, with some studies actually showing that e-cigarette emissions can contain nicotine levels comparable to that of secondhand tobacco smoke. Secondhand exposure to nicotine is potentially particularly problematic for children, for pregnant women, and persons with cardiac conditions. This is especially important at this time as the e-cigarette industry is transforming as we speak, going from what we have initially talked about as cigalites that look like cigarettes to much larger tank systems that can contain more liquid and therefore more nicotine. They can be heated higher and then put out more toxins. We have some studies that show that some of the larger new tank systems will put out formaldehyde at levels comparable to that of tobacco cigarette. The question has always been raised, well, does these things harm you? I think the take-home message is two things. One, we do not know the long-term health effects of these, and there's a period there. This is a brand new phenomena. What we do know at the more immediate level, propylene glycol, which is an FDA-approved humectant that allows the vapor, the fog you see, we know that it can retard lung function if used consistently. We have studies in terms of that. We also know that e-cigarettes can increase respiratory resistance. It can also cause eye and respiratory irritation. Even though, and I think this is the key point here, even though these products, propylene glycol and glycerin, are FDA approved, they are not approved for inhalation. They're approved for ingestion. And a whole different set of chemical reactions take place when you heat, burn, and or aerosolize a product. I'm going to cut to the chase and leave time for my colleagues to speak about this. There needs to be a much more in-depth discussion about this at a scientific level. And as Senator Leonard pointed out, I don't want to ban electronic cigarettes. I wish they work, but what I'm clear on is that they do produce toxic matter into the environment, and that should be the starting point of how we deal with it. Lastly, e-cigarettes and kids. The recent CDC report in 2014 in November showed that it had tripled between 2011 and 2014. This is tripled to up to 5% of kids using it. What's even more remarkable, the next month in November of 2014, this is just a few months ago, Monitoring the Future data came out where the majority of kids, there are more kids smoking e-cigarettes than smoking regular cigarettes. Not to put too sharp of a point on this, when they don't even use the terms e-cigarettes. Our tools are not even functional in their environment. Vaping pens, breathalyzers, vaporizers, all sorts of things. It's similar to asking a kid, does he smoke? But of course, when he talks about smoking, he's not thinking about the Swisher Sweet or the Black and Mild cigar. He's thinking about a cigarette, so he says he doesn't smoke. So we even have to get our terminology in order. Lastly, youth exposed to nicotine is clearly a problem. It can alter brain development at a young age. That's why most people get addicted when you're young. It takes over certain executive function. And lastly, e-cigarettes are an unregulated product. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has not approved these products for treatment of nicotine dependence, nor are they currently subject to safe manufacturing quality standards. The FDA continues to warn people about them. We do not know the long-term health effects of e-cigarette use, and although the industry marketing of the product implies that these products are harmless, the aerosol that e-cigarettes emit is not pure water vapor. So based on that, I'm reading the concluding paragraphs of the UC policy. Based on the little science that is available, and while using the precautionary principle and not wanting to undermine the great strides in smoking denormalization that has taken place, UC is regulating electronic cigarettes like regular tobacco cigarettes, and I've gone through the rationale for that. I'll be happy to take any questions, and at this time I'll turn it over to my colleague.
Thank you. We have
Dr.
2 minutes and
McDonald.
44 seconds left for the remainder of the, please proceed. I told everybody very clearly, 9 minutes total.
Chairman Hernandez and members, thank you for the chance to testify. I'm Dr. Kathy McDonald, a physician who works for the County of Alameda, training staff in many settings to treat tobacco dependence, and I have helped many teens and adults to quit smoking. I represent the California Society of Addiction Medicine, CSAM, physicians specializing in treating substance use disorders who are in full support of SB 140. And thank you, Senator Leno, for introducing it. E-cigarettes are highly addictive, especially dangerous to youth, and not proven to be effective cessation methods. They usually contain nicotine, which is as addictive as heroin, causing a person to regularly need to get a supply of their drug. Even the advertising images of vaping trigger craving and decrease intention to stay quit for people who have previously smoked and quit. E-cigarettes entice young people to experiment with nicotine and risk addiction. The California Department of Public Health's January 2015 advisory on e-cigarettes, a review of all available scientific evidence, showed no evidence that e-cigarettes help smokers to quit, and referenced a study of a quit line which demonstrated that those who had tried e-cigarettes to help them quit had a quit rate of 21.7% at 30 days compared to those who had not used e-cigarettes to quit, who had a significantly higher quit rate of 31.3%. The FDA has approved 7 first-line medications for cessation: patch, gum, lozenge, inhaler, nasal spray, and non-nicotine products, Vyvanse and Chantix, which these therapies have been rigorously tested and found to be safe and effective. Evidence-based treatment consists of 1 or more medication combined with counseling and produces rates as high as 36.5% at 6 months by the combination of nicotine patch and gum. No e-cigarette brand has submitted to the FDA to be approved as a cessation product. This would require e-cigarette companies to back up their claims with established methodology and prove safety and efficacy of an identified product, not an amorphous collection of more than 80 different brands.
Doctor, we're about to get cut off, so I don't want Dr. Glantz not to have a moment to say
We
a
have
few
25
words.
seconds left. So.
Okay, I'm Stan Glantz. I'm a professor of medicine at UCSF. We've studied e-cigarette legislation all over the country and found that one of the really crucial elements of the legislation is how an e-cigarette is defined. The tobacco companies have been working hard everywhere to define them separately from tobacco products in order to complicate other regulation. The definition in SB 140 is a gold standard definition that includes not only the products that deliver nicotine, but also products that are capable of delivering nicotine. It's very important to maintain the definition that's in this bill because, for example, in New Zealand, where they banned e-cigarettes with nicotine but allow nicotine-free e-cigarettes, people buy the nicotine-free cigarettes and they put the nicotine in them. So you're going to get a lot of pressure from the industry and others to change the definition in this bill. It's tremendously important not only for the bill itself, but future legislation and regulation to maintain the language in the bill.
Thank you. We've exceeded by over a minute. I allowed you. I will give the opposition the exact same amount of time, which is 10 minutes. So I'd like to ask if you guys can either move to the side and ask the opposition to come up, and I will be very clear. It will be stopped at 10 minutes. You can have the opposition
public comment afterward?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, we take other supporters for the record, name and serial number.
Pardon me?
You take other supporters for the record?
After the individuals will be speaking, then we'll be asking for support or opposition only. So the opposition, only these two will be asked to be speaking on behalf. You'll be given 10 minutes. Please state your name and your position.
Yes, good evening. My name is Edward Anselm, and I serve as Medical Director for Health Republic Insurance of New Jersey. I hold the title of Assistant Professor of Medicine at Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York, and I have a 30-year history of tobacco control activism and running smoking cessation programs. I'm here today to talk about harm reduction. I'm here today to talk about, on behalf of the 3 million smokers in the state of California. These individuals have struggled with their dependence on nicotine and have made innumerable efforts to quit smoking, yet they still are dependent on nicotine. And I think it's important to ask ourselves, why is that? It's because nicotine is a psychoactive compound. In addition to being addictive, it's an antidepressant. It helps schizophrenics with their concentration and their mood and reduces their hallucinations. It helps people with attention deficit disorder maintain their concentration. And it's used by millions of people to maintain their mood, to help cope with life stresses. When people quit smoking, they frequently relapse due to major life stress events. So I'm here to talk about the 3 million smokers who are currently obtaining nicotine from their cigarettes. You know, on average, they're going to reduce their lifespan by about 10 years. There's been a tremendous international controversy regarding the role of electronic cigarettes as a harm reduction strategy. Contrary to statements made, there are 3 published clinical trials that show that the use of electronic cigarettes can help people quit smoking. But more importantly, there are innumerable anecdotes, thousands that I've come across, of individuals who have adopted vaping as an alternative to smoking and have been able to reduce the amount of smoke, that is, they've become dual users, or they've eliminated smoking entirely. And I think this is a really important harm reduction consideration for the population of Californians who continue to smoke. There's another dimension to this discussion, and that's the distinction between a vapor and smoke. The cigarette smoke is well established as an environmental toxicant, whereas vapor is not so well established. Depending on whose studies you read, there's an order of magnitude or 2 orders of magnitude difference in the types of compounds that are exposed. Therefore, I'm wondering, you know, is it necessarily true that we should consider vapor the equivalent of cigarette smoke? And there's a reason why we might want to make some added considerations on behalf of the Californians who will be using electronic cigarettes to reduce their health risks. There are a number of settings in which individuals should be allowed to use their electronic cigarettes or vape, and that would be in public parks or in vape shops or in other shared spaces. And I ask that you take those opportunities into account as you promote this legislation. In summary, I support the basic provisions of SB 140 with respect to restricting youth access electronic nicotine delivery systems, I believe that appropriate distinctions need to be made between cigarette use and electronic cigarette use. An excessive restriction of electronic cigarette use by adults may limit the value in reducing harm to them from cigarette smoking. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and committee. I'm Stefan Didak, and for over 27 years, I was a two-pack-a-day smoker until I switched to a safer alternative, a vapor product. As a result, I'm not inhaling harmful tobacco smoke all day or sharing secondhand smoke with others around me. I'm also here today as the co-president of the Northern California chapter of SVADA, the Smoke-Free Alternatives Trade Association, and I'm here today to represent both the Northern and Southern chapters in the capacity of one of its unpaid volunteers. For the record, I have never taken any payment from either the industry I represent or any tobacco companies. I'm here to represent over 110 small businesses in the state, small, often family-owned businesses who do not have nor ever had any ties with big tobacco companies. We're greatly concerned with SB 140 because it seeks a classification of vapor products as tobacco within the context of California's Stake Act. This change in statute is troublesome and is entirely inappropriate given the fact that at the federal level, the FDA has recognized and stated that regulation under the Family Smoking and Tobacco Control Act of 2009 is inappropriate and not proportional to the harm caused. On the other hand, the Stake Act was enacted to address the blatant lies and death and disease caused by big tobacco, a wholly different product and industry than the one that has pioneered the vapor market and given rise to hundreds of independent businesses in California. Just imagine how many jobs those have created and continue to create. Regulating tobacco products is a direct response to the known harms they cause, whereas vapor products do not contain tobacco and have been determined by experts to be at least 95% less harmful. Mitch Zeller, the director of the Center for Tobacco Products at the FDA, has stated publicly that for smokers unable or unwilling to quit, vapor products are the preferred alternative. Derek Yak, the international healthcare policy analyst who led the World Health Organization's Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, has agreed. Smoking kills and nicotine does not. And furthermore, he has come out to say that electronic cigarettes are far less harmful than smoking. Regulation, classification, and treatment of vapor products should be approached from a position of endeavoring to protect the public health from death and disease caused by combusted tobacco, rather than paving the way for taxation, regulation, and operational burdens for vapor products, such that adult smokers are no longer incentivized to switch to an alternative. Yet, SB 140 goes as far as to prevent sampling of products in vapor stores, which is similar to not allowing you to try on shoes before you buy them. We support age restriction and already age-verify customers as well as participate in the Age2Vape age verification program. Beyond being extremely unfavorable to businesses and consumers, SB 140 seeks to ensure adult consumers continue smoking combusted cigarettes through its well-intentioned but exceedingly misguided requirements. SB 140 in its current form would lead to a plethora of unintended consequences that we strongly believe Senator Leno is unaware of. Therefore, we are hopeful that Senator Leno will consider amending the bill to ensure it does not become unenforceable and overreaching regulation. As currently drafted, however, we respectfully request that you vote no on the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. No, please, no public comment. I mean, no public noise at this point. What I'd like to do is I'd like to see if there's anyone like to come up and voice any support. Please state your name and position. Support only at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. David Ford on behalf of the Association of Northern California Oncologists and the Medical Oncology Association of Southern California in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Tim Gibbs, American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, one of the co-sponsors of the bill, and we urge the committee's support.
Thank you.
Hi, Callie Hampt on behalf of the American Heart and American Stroke Association, proud co-sponsor. Thanks. Hi, Lindsay Freitas, American Lung Association in California, also a co-sponsor and urging strong support. Thank you.
Tiffany Whiten on behalf of the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids and strong support. Thank you.
Alicia Sanchez on behalf of the California Medical Association in support.
Andrew Antwi on behalf of the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office in support.
White Sam on behalf of Health Access California in support.
David Jones on behalf of the City of San Marcos in strong support.
Matt Reed on behalf of Breathe California and the Breathe California affiliates, we support.
Nasia Islam, junior at Granite Bay High School, vice president of the Breathe California Youth Advisory Board and member of the Tobacco Subcommittee in support. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shivani Parikh, and I'm currently a sophomore attending Casunas Oaks High School in Elk Grove, and I'm a member of the Elk Grove Youth Commission and a member of the California Breathe Youth Advisory Board, and I'm in support. Thank you.
I'm Robert Benner. I'm president of Breathe California's Youth Advisory Board, and I'm in support.
Tim Madden, representing the California chapter of the American College of Cardiology and the California chapter of the American College of Emergency Physicians in support.
Sylvia Solis Shaw on behalf of the City and County of San Francisco and the Office of Mayor Ed Lee in strong support.
Terry Brennan on behalf of SEIU California, the largest union of healthcare workers in the state and nation, and a proud member of the Save Lives Coalition in support.
Liz Williams with Americans for Non-Smokers' Rights, strong support.
Lydia Bourne, American Academy of Pediatrics, in support.
Cynthia Hallett, Executive Director of Americans for Non-Smokers' Rights and also the past chair of the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Other Drugs section of the American Public Health Association, strong support.
Misty Johnson on behalf of the California Pharmacists Association in support.
Judith Regal with the County Health Executives Association in strong support.
Jody Hicks on behalf of the California Academy of Family Physicians in support.
Teresa Stark on behalf of Kaiser Permanente in support.
Justin Garrett with the March of Dimes in support.
Kat DeBerg with the Health Officers Association of California in strong support.
Amber King with the Association of California Healthcare Districts in support.
Nicole Wertelman on behalf of the Alameda County Board of Supervisors in support.
Michael Radigan on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, Santa Clara County in support.
Dr. Norval Hickman, California licensed clinical psychologist with 12 years of experience treating seriously nicotine-addicted people with mental illness. I strongly support this bill.
Thank you. Anyone in opposition? State your name and position.
Yes, Edward Wolf. Senator Leno has no right to define renormalization or normal from the government. And
name and opposition only. Thank you.
Opposition.
Thank you. Please state name and position only. No comment.
My name is Michael Mullins from Sonoma County, small business owner of the state of California, taxpayer, voter, and I oppose.
Doug Hughes from Torrance, California, co-president of the Southern California SFATA, Smoke-Free Alternative Trade Association, strongly opposed.
Rick Griffiths, smoker of 25 years, non-smoker now for 3, and I strongly oppose.
Keith Butler from Rohnert Park, California, and I strongly oppose.
Marcus Blackstone from Orange County, California, 27-year pack-a-day smoker, quit a year ago, and I strongly oppose.
Jesse Hanks, Vacaville, California, haven't smoked a cigarette in 3 years, and I strongly oppose.
Itai Suez, small business owner out of Santa Cruz, California. I was a smoker for 23 years, quit for 2 years, and I strongly oppose.
Agent DeReich, small business owner, Santa Clara County, California. I used to be a smoker for 28 years and no longer smoke. Please, I oppose this bill.
Jonathan Mospelek, Santa Rosa, I oppose.
Eddie Walsh, Rohnert Park, California, small business owner, strongly opposed.
Billy Vernetti, business owner, Davis, California, I oppose.
My name is Sally Getch. I've never smoked. I've never vaped. I'm not employed by the industry. Vaping saved my marriage. I'm strongly in opposition to this bill.
Angela Leo with the Vapor Spot and the Vaping Education Council, and we strongly oppose.
Corey Paravano with the Vapor Spot and the Vapor Education Council, and I strongly oppose.
Wade Atterbury, San Jose, small business owner, strongly oppose.
Landon Long, small business owner out of Fremont, California, strongly oppose.
Andy Vo with Vape in Peace. Please don't classify apple juice as gasoline. I strongly oppose.
My name is John Jenkins. I own 3 Los Angeles vapor bars, the Vapor Spot, and I also own one on 2700 J Street here in Sacramento, the Vapor Spot. I strongly oppose this. No sampling in vape bars, people. Strongly oppose.
Jordan Middleton, strongly oppose.
Jason Broses from Solano County, highly oppose.
Jim Audi from Apple Valley, California, small business owner, and I strongly oppose.
Michael Duncan from Apple Valley, California, former 2-pack-a-day smoker. I'm also employed in the industry. I strongly oppose.
Brian Compson, Santa Maria, California, employed in the industry, strongly opposed.
Sylvia Maxon, South County Vapors, strongly opposed.
Frank Comston, former 24-year smoker, haven't smoked in over 2.5, small business owner, taxpayer, employer, I strongly oppose.
Katie Dunn, employee of Smokeless Smoking, part of the Vaping Education Council, and I strongly oppose.
My name is Brian Gage. I'm CEO of Firebrand, an e-liquid manufacturer based out of Los Angeles. We are certified members of the American E-Liquid Manufacturing Standards Association. I also happen to be an internationally published children's book author, and I am strongly opposed to this. Thank you.
Nathaniel Punty from Vallejo, and I oppose this bill.
Robert Jones, owner of Smokeless Smoking, strongly oppose.
My name is Eric Lund, small business owner out of San Jose, California. Heavy taxpayer. I employ quite a few people, and I definitely oppose this bill, and I think you guys should too.
Hello, my name is Lisa Kellett. I'm the owner of Villain Vapors from Santa Fe Springs, California, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Angela Bagalba, on behalf of all the family-owned vape shops in Southern California and all of California, I strongly oppose.
Chris Bautista at Costa Vapors, Burbank Boulevard, California, and I strongly oppose.
Joey Mariano, United Vapors, not vaping. This bill doesn't allow vaping in a vape shop, and that's like no drinking at a bar. It doesn't make any sense. I oppose.
Chris Ollie with the CKS brand. I was a smoker for 10 years, and vaping helped me quit. Strongly opposed.
Chris Neary from San Jose, California, ex-smoker of 16 years, 2 packs a day. I strongly oppose.
Felicia Garfield from San Jose, and I strongly oppose.
Spencer Oberlin, ex-smoker for 10 years. I'm employed by the Department of Homeland Security in my business, Elevape. I strongly oppose.
Neen Garcia, ex-smoker, owner of Vacaville Vaporium. I strongly oppose.
My name is Carrie Hess. I'm from Redding, California. I'm a small business owner. I'm an employer. I vote. I'm a member of the Consumer Advocates for Smoke-Free Alternatives, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Jeff Hess, small business owner. Electronic cigarettes are not big tobacco. I strongly oppose. Taxpayer, voter.
Eric Beal, Santa Rosa, representing Digital Cigs on our over 9,000 customers. I strongly oppose.
My name is Cassidy Miller. I'm smoke-free, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Nicholas Brown, Tracy, California. Vaping saved my life, and I'm a cancer survivor. I strongly oppose.
Camille Winans from Local Vape. I strongly oppose.
Jason Fader of Vape Daily, and I strongly oppose.
Jacob Johnson of Buckshot Vapors, Inc., and I strongly oppose.
Tyler Frost, small business owner, employer, taxpayer in Stanislaus County, Sacramento County, and Amador County, and I strongly oppose.
Hi, my name is Jack Brackett. I'm a manufacturer of non-tobacco derived e-liquids, and I strongly oppose this. Thank you.
Josh Lawler, small business owner, Oceanside, California, strongly opposed.
Anna Monta from Santa Ana. I am a taxpayer, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Ivan Lee, owner of Praxis Vapors, and I oppose this bill.
Benedictine Wackel from Ontario, California. I oppose this bill.
Joseph Gutierrez from Ontario, California. I strongly oppose this bill.
Noah Earhart from Ontario, California. I strongly oppose this bill.
Susan Malott from the National Vapors Club, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Junie Bonico of e-cig Inc. We're a family-owned business, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Justin Lucia from Vacaville, California. As a former 2-pack-a-day smoker, I strongly oppose this.
My name is Pamela Chiu, small business owner, taxpayer, and this industry has blessed my family to stop smoking and to employ them. I strongly oppose this bill.
CJ Catchlar, small business owner of Vapor Venue, and I represent ECC, and I got into business because I believe in it. I haven't touched a cigarette in 5 years, and I oppose the bill. Hi, my name is Arthur Hahn, CEO of Epic Juice, based out of Anaheim, California, and we strongly oppose.
Roy Santos from Diamond Bar, California. Also a small business owner of Vape Life. I oppose this bill.
Brandy Baguette, Lincoln, California. I've been smoke-free for a year thanks to vaping, and I oppose.
Peter Resendez, small business owner from Lincoln, California. I oppose this bill.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Emmons. I'm a registered nurse, and I've been smoke-free for over a year. I strongly oppose this bill.
Sonny Boudreau from Elk Grove, California. I strongly oppose this bill.
Timothy Knight from Sacramento, California. My dad is dying of prostate cancer because of smoking, and he says he wishes that they had the e-cigarettes years ago. I strongly oppose this bill.
Vidal Jeter, Sacramento, California. I strongly oppose this bill.
My name is James Chong from Orange County, California. Vaping did save my life and also allowed me to spend more years with my 11-year-old daughter. Vaping did save my life. I strongly oppose this bill.
Rich Killett, Santa Fe Springs, small business owner, taxpayer. I oppose this bill.
David Walker. I'm a state worker here in Sacramento, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Roy Mananquil from Huntington Beach, California, small business owner, photographer, and I oppose this bill.
Carlo Meslier from Norco, California, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Bobby Williams. I am a small mom-and-pop shop business owner. I do oppose this bill, and this has kept my wife off of smoking for the last 2 years, and I love this product. It has helped save so many lives, I believe. I oppose.
My name is Eric Cook. I'm an ex-smoker and a small business owner, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Andrew Noda, Long Beach, California. Strongly oppose this bill.
Good afternoon. Troy Scribner, owner of Vaping Up in Healdsburg, California. We strongly oppose this bill. We're taxpayers, and we vote.
Devin Scribner, 30-year smoker, almost 2 years non-smoking with vaping, owner of Vaping Up, Healdsburg, California. Strongly oppose.
My name is Alex Shannis. I've been tobacco-free for 3 years now. I work in the industry, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Gary Supine of Apple Valley, California. I work at a vape shop, and I strongly oppose this bill.
My name's Travis Labe from Apple Valley, California, and I oppose this bill.
My name is Kevin Garrett. I'm a brick and mortar business owner in Apple Valley, California, and I smoked a pack a day for 10 years. I strongly oppose this bill.
Ana DeMarco, never been smoker, never been vape, and my kids are 2 years free second-hand smoker, and saved my marriage and saved my kids. Strongly oppose.
Greg is here representing myself, not any client. My wife stopped smoking thanks to this. There's nothing in this bill that would stop her or anybody else from stopping smoking. I support the bill.
Thank you. See no other comment from the audience. Question, comment, Senator Monning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of questions. First, for the author, does your bill prevent an adult from acquiring and using e-cigarettes?
Certainly not. Certainly not. And I'm really a bit shaken by some of what I've heard now, because I know everyone spoke in opposition very sincerely and very intently, and I don't know where they've gotten their misinformation. But this will... Well,
hold on. First of all, no public comment, and that was totally inappropriate. Sergeant, find out who made that comment. Okay, please leave. That is totally inappropriate.
So if I could please continue. I'm really concerned. I don't know where they got their misinformation. From what I heard, this bill is going to close down vape shops. What I heard is this bill is going to require that those who are still addicted to nicotine, who are now getting it through their vaping, will have to go back to smoking cigarettes. This bill will do nothing of the sort. I also heard that this bill will prohibit vaping in vape shops. It specifically does not. Our bill does not prevent the smoking of e-cigarettes in vape lounges. Current law allows for an exemption to smoking in enclosed workplaces for, quote, private smokers' lounges and tobacco shops, such as hookah lounges and cigar bars. This is in the Labor Code section of current law. I'm going to ask the gentleman who brought this to public light that this will prohibit vaping in vape shops to show me where he found that in the bill.
Actually, it's fairly simple. Vape shops are currently not licensed. The tobacco shops and smoking lounges you're referring to, those are under a specific license, which vape shops are not.
So you'll have to be licensed, and you don't want to be regulated or licensed, and that's your argument?
Not specifically in the way that you're seeking it.
Very good. So I do admit that the bill will require licensing.
It will require licensing. It will allow adults to acquire e-cigarettes if they choose to use them.
Of course.
Thank you. And then if I could ask a question, the first witness, could you repeat your name again?
Edward Anselm.
And your affiliation?
My affiliation is Health Republic Insurance of New Jersey, Mount Sinai School of Medicine, and the R Street Institute out of Brevard, Lemonade.
And is anybody supporting your testimony today?
Well, I am affiliated with a think tank called the R Street Institute. It's a libertarian think tank. My position on harm reduction has been in the public record for a decade, and I've only recently been engaged with this institute.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate your presence today. And I just did add a question. Did I correctly, did I understand your testimony to suggest that there are benefits to nicotine?
For the individuals who use it, certainly there are benefits. I wouldn't promote it, but young people experiment with all sorts of drugs, and they're bound to try alcohol, marijuana, nicotine. Only a small fraction of people who try nicotine become habituated to it and begin to use it to manage their mood. And they tend to be disproportionately individuals who have underlying mental illness, such as those who have a tendency towards depression, schizophrenia, or attention deficit disorder.
And for them, you recommend the use of nicotine as a beneficial product?
It certainly would be a preference if they had the least harmful form of nicotine available. The harm reduction strategy that I developed with my health plan promotes the use of off-label use of nicotine for tobacco use reduction, as the National Health Service of Great Britain has done. Clearly, we would prefer to use FDA-regulated products to help people quit smoking. But nonetheless, as you've heard from this group, lots of people have adopted lots of adults have adopted the use of electronic nicotine delivery systems to either curb or eliminate their tobacco use, and I certainly think that that's an important public health consideration.
And do you have any data that shows how many who use the vapor product switch to that for nicotine acquisition or use it to totally stop using nicotine?
There's only 3 studies that have attempted. It's a very difficult subject to study because you're calling up people or random dialing people or doing computer surveys. So there's only 3 studies that have asked the question about whether or not individuals have cut down or quit smoking. Certainly there's a prevalence of dual use. I don't remember the exact statistics, but I can tell you that a substantial number of individuals have adopted e-cigarettes in replacement of cigarettes. One anecdote, in Great Britain, the reports of referrals to smoking cessation programs have gone down because vaping has gone up.
But you don't know, in answer to my question, how many of those are vaping to quit the addiction to nicotine versus replacing?
We don't have good data on that.
Okay, thank you. And then I didn't get all the titles, but I think
they're all doctors.
They're all doctors. Okay. Any one of you, do you consider nicotine, when delivered in electronic fashion, to be a harmless to one's health?
Nicotine is a highly addictive substance. As I think Senator Leno said, it's on the Prop 65 list of known reproductive toxicants. And while there is some argument that it might be used to treat certain diseases, certain mental illnesses, that would be done by prescription, and we already have mechanisms to do that. I think to advocate self-administration of a highly addictive substance with a toxic delivery system is not a good idea. And also there are 11 high-quality studies, population-level studies, looking at the effect of e-cigarette use on smoking, on quitting smoking. And while there's no question that some people have successfully quit smoking using e-cigarettes, and you just met a bunch of them, on average, smokers who use e-cigarettes are about a third less likely to quit smoking than smokers who don't use e-cigarettes. And probably one of the reasons for that is that they're promoted to use in places that you can't smoke. And Senator Leno's bill would solve that problem. It would say, the bill doesn't ban e-cigarettes. As Senator Leno said, the bill doesn't say adults can't buy e-cigarettes. It simply says you can't use an e-cigarette any place that you can't smoke a conventional cigarette.
And a final question, would it be fair to say that an e-cigarette is a path to nicotine addiction absent any prior use of traditional tobacco products?
Yes. For some, as you heard from, I think, Dr. Gardner's testimony, the e-cigarette use among youth, both in California and nationally, is exploding. There are now more kids initiating nicotine use with e-cigarettes than cigarettes. Our work has shown that kids who experiment with cigarettes and use e-cigarettes are 8 times more likely to become established smokers. So there's no question that e-cigarette use is increasing nicotine addiction among youth in California and in the country.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other comment, question? See none, do we have a motion? Moved by Senator Roth. Would you like to close, Senator Leno?
Thank you for your time, for your consideration, and for all those who attended today on both sides of the issue, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. This is item number 4, SB 140, Leno. Electronic cigarettes do pass as amended to appropriations. Chair is recommending an aye vote. Call the members, please.
Hernandez?
Aye.
Hernandez, aye. Nguyen? Hall? Mitchell? Monning?
Aye.
Monning, aye. Nielsen? No. Nielsen, no. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. Roth?
Aye.
Roth, aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Currently has 5. We're going to place that bill on call. Item number 4, SB 140, Leno. Do pass as amended to appropriations. Call the absent members.
Nguyen? Hall? Mitchell?
Mitchell, aye.
Mitchell, aye. 6-1.
That has 6. That bill is out.